My name is Naomi Uechi. I'm not exactly a filmmaker, but I'm in a short documentary called Window Treatment.
Thomas Southerland, and we are the co-directors of Window Treatment.
Yes. This was his second visit to my hometown. The first visit, he brought the whole gear, camera and everything. And this time I said, no cameras, nothing. Let's just go home and enjoy it. It turns out he had a cell phone, so
we shot it with our Galaxy S10, which is a terrible phone. But we were able to make it work. And people who watched it in there, were telling me it looked just as good as the other films. That was incredible. So it's kind of, I think it's a lesson for me. It was a lesson in, I like to have good gear. I like to have nice cameras and all the, mics and whatever. But this was a film we made with just pointing our phones at what was happening, because we didn't know when we arrived in Okinawa, we couldn't stay at her father's house because all the windows were being replaced by the government. And when I asked why are all his windows being replaced by the government, that was the germ of the film. As she explained to me, and I thought, I have to document this, not knowing that I would ever make a film about it. So I have to film it. So I filmed about 4.5 hours of footage on I had a big phone, like lots of storage. I filmed as much as I could. And then we were there about a month before the world shut down because of the pandemic. So I just let the film kind of slide. And then a couple years later, we started editing it and realized that I think we actually have something here. I mean, I made 3 other films during that break, and they were totally different style. Everything was completely unique. So coming back to it, we waited for really almost 3 years to even look at the footage, and then we edited it in 5 days. Like the version people watch is like, we just did that in 5 days because I just want to get it done. Like, let's just have it. And when we finished it, we thought maybe we'll send this out into the world, but we really just did it for us. I think it's very important. And I teach film as well. When I talk to my students, sometimes you can't be precious about your work. You just have to do the work. And you can't sit around waiting for permission and then the expectation you're going to have this huge audience for your film. Most filmmakers never get a huge audience for their work. If that stops you, then you're not a filmmaker. Right? It can't stop you. So our thing was we just wanted to see it ourselves, selfishly. And then we saw it and we showed it to some friends and they said, you should submit that. That's pretty good. And so far we played 12 film festivals, and some of the top regional festivals in the country are showing it in the next few weeks. So we're thrilled. Yeah, definitely. But it's a bit unexpected too.
It's rewarding to have it shown, and my friends were here to see it, and just for people to be aware of things that are still happening there, and some people they don't know anything about even just Okinawa. So it's nice, but I'm okay with just handing over to the filmmaker here and letting you do the job.
Well, she's helped me with all my movies, as you do. She's been a producer on most of my films. This time, it is hard. I get it. I've never been the subject of my own movie. I don't tend to make personal films. I'm boring. Nobody wants to hear about me. But I thought her story was really fascinating. But you have to realize, too, as a filmmaker, you're asking your partner to also be your subject. So there's a vulnerability there that I can totally understand. But I think it's worth it because, our hope is only a 10-minute film, but our hope is that, the people who see it have no concept of what the American military has done to Okinawa, especially as Americans. We just kind of say, oh, well, that's just natural that we have all these bases everywhere. It's not really natural. And it is a type of occupation that's been going on since April 1st, 1945. It's embedded in the culture of Okinawa, and it's a very controversial subject there and in Japan. But here, we don't talk about it too much. I get that. So we're hoping that the film illuminates that somewhat. We live in a time of incredible short attention span, and this is everyone. I hate it when they say young people are the worst are people in their 70s who are glued to their phones and won't watch movies anymore. We're hoping that you watch this and you feel something, and you might feel like, wait a minute, why don't more people talk about this? And I think being shorter maybe will allow it to have a broader audience. Not just the festival circuit is the initial run, We're hoping it can just spread somehow. Friends who have seen it here have said, I want to share the link with my friends. And you just never know, where that goes. But ultimately, for me, with my connection with Naomi, is that I hope to take this and tell a bigger story someday about Okinawa. I don't have the money yet, but I'm hoping it could maybe provide that seed money someday. Forever, or at least like when I went to film school, short films were just seen as calling cards, meaning that you're just trying to make something bigger. But one thing I love about what the internet has done, especially in the last decade, is the explosion of all types of filmmakers making short films, especially short documentaries. I mean, I think, there's people I know make a career out of that's what they do. They don't make longer forms. So some of it is that the bite-sized kind of storytelling. And then, you could take a section of it and it can go on TikTok or Instagram or whatever. This is, kind of new for me. I'm not really sure where to navigate, this distribution model for a short film. But even just something like the way Vimeo works and has their staff pick. I mean, becoming a Vimeo staff pick is a big, big deal. And so something like that is like what any filmmaker should be trying to do with their short, is not just the film festival world, but I'm a little older, and the festival world is just so special to me because I love the physical screening, and screening with strangers watching your film on a big screen is just a total addiction. Once you've experienced it 4 or 5 times, like, oh, I'd like to do that all the rest of my life if I could. So it's very, very powerful. We're not able to go to a lot of the festivals where it's screening, but it's been I don't know, it's been such a treasure to be here and watch it on this screen, because this is kind of our hometown screen, so a big deal. Yeah. Our first date was at the Kentucky Theater. So for me, the Kentucky is really important because I went to school at the University of Kentucky. And if you wanted to see serious cinema, this is where you came. You could rent movies, of course. The Kentucky Theater is it's something very special because I've lived in bigger cities. We just moved here from a city in North Carolina that had an art house cinema, but they were boutique, so they were very small, really nice. But you're there with 80 people. This is something altogether just completely unique. So I still have vivid memories of coming to see films here, and there's 500 people with you, and you don't know any of them, and you're experiencing this all. I always say it's like we're having the same experience, but individualized. And it's something really powerful about cinema in general, but especially the state and the Kentucky. We're thrilled that it's still going. It's not just still going, it's vibrant. And I hope that's what people can take away, because I still run into way too many young people who've never been down here, and it's like, what is your problem? Like, get down there. You can go to Cinemark or wherever as much as you want. Go to the Kentucky, because it's like nothing else.